Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 369 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Lisa Stuart. She, according to her Instagram, is a speaker, an author, a lawyer, and a songwriter, and a mom of three, which I don't believe because I call her my new friend, the supermodel. You know, it's just impossible that she could have three kids. But if she's a lawyer, she's supposed to tell the truth. So we'll see. I hope you didn't miss episode 368. Alan Baris was here. He's a good friend of mine. He's one of the few people on earth I would trust my life to. How about that? And it's also another great example, just like Lisa, of if when you're not screwing the commute all the time, or when you are screwing the commute all the time, you can do lots of things. And so he's a fifth Dan in Hapkido, or maybe an eighth Dan. I'm not sure. He was the co-instructor with me on my brutal self-defense class. He was a lawyer. He was an Army sniper. What he talked about on the last episode was how to get free stuff by doing Amazon reviews. He's done 6,000 reviews on Amazon. So I hope you didn't miss that episode. So how would you like to hear your own voice here on Screw the Commute? Well, if the show's helped you out at all in your business or given you ideas to help you start a business, we want to hear about it. Visit screwthecommute.com and look for the little blue sidebar that says send a voicemail. Click on it, talk into your phone or computer, tell me how the show's helped you, and don't forget to put your website on there so you can get a big shout out on a future episode of Screw the Commute. Now, while you're over there, grab a copy of our automation ebook. One of my recent episodes is about cell phone automation and how I work screamingly fast and steal business from other people because I get back to people very quickly because of the automation techniques. So check it out. We sell this book for $27, but it's yours free for listening to this show. It's at screwthecommute.com/automate free, screwthecommute.com/automate free. And listen to this, folks. Just one of the tips in this ebook has saved me. We actually figured it out, 7.5 million keystrokes over the years. So that was just one of the tips. This can really save you a lot of work and make a lot of extra money for you. And pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. We've got complete video and screen captures to show you how to use it so you can take us with you on the road. All right, I know everybody's hurting because of this pandemic. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. You got kids that are, I just heard recently on the news that a rise in failing grades of 800% because of this. And, a lot of these kids weren't that bright to start with, and now we're making it worse on them. So you really got to help your children have good careers, get them good training, and that's what my school is all about. I've been teaching internet marketing and living this lifestyle for 26 years straight since the commercial internet started. But 12 years ago, I went through 3 years of living hell to get the license for the only licensed dedicated internet marketing school in the country, probably the world, where we teach hardcore skills that are in high demand. See, every business on earth needs email marketing and chat bots and blogs and shopping carts and all this stuff that we have been teaching in the school. And we have people getting, in 4 months into the school, this one girl is making $6,000 a month as a side hustle. So check it out at imtcva.org. And a little later, we'll tell you how you can get a complete scholarship to the school if you're in my mentor program. All right, so we'll talk about that later. Let's get to the main event. Lisa Stuart is an international life coach who empowers women to say yes to themselves without fear and no to others without guilt. Her Be the Butterfly webinar series has resonated with women around the globe as their go-to source for spiritual growth and life realignment. Lisa, are you ready to screw the commute?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Tom. Thank you. And first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's my pleasure. We met through one of my dearest friends, Patricia Cara. the fine number 9, I call her, from
Yes,
Deal or No Deal.
I love Patricia. She's a dear friend of us, and she's just amazing.
And she met you through your husband, right?
Yes, she did.
Isn't that amazing how things come together? But now she says, heck with him. I like Lisa better.
I think it's a big love fest for all of us now.
So tell everybody what you're doing now. Then we'll take you back on your entrepreneurial journey, because you've done a lot of things, attorney, songwriter, the whole bit. But tell us about your work with women.
Yes, I have a lot to talk about, so I'll try to keep it brief. Yes, so basically, my journey started a couple of years ago, back in 2017, when I had this, I've been a practicing lawyer for over 20 years and still practicing.
Yeah, see, I can't believe that. You're lying. But I'll go along with it because I don't want to cause trouble on this recording, but there's no way. Go ahead.
My state bar is proof. Can't get around that. So yes, I'm still practicing as a litigator, which is why I probably love to talk. And a few years ago, I went through some personal things in my life, and I really just had this need to empower women. I've always written stories, poems, songs, and so I just wanted to build a space for women to come together. And I had this whole brick and mortar idea back in 2017. Found out I was pregnant with my little girl right now, and everything just kind of came to a stop because I couldn't exactly leave my day job to go start this with a third baby on the way.
You're probably lucky that you didn't go and rent a big facility and sign a long-term lease. You know what?
I was very close to it.
See, that baby is a double gift from God to save you about $25 a square foot,
Let me tell you, with 2020, and 2020 is hindsight, it's a good thing, right? So, I've been working on this book, a couple of books that I have, and starting in 2020, before the pandemic hit, I said to myself, you know what, this is the year. This is the year I'm going to get my books out, empower women, and do all that. And at the start of the pandemic, I thought about all the things that I wanted to do to empower women. And I said, well, wouldn't that be an amazing space now on the virtual platform to bring my work? Little did I know that there's a whole forum for it, which is fantastic, because I really feel that the world needs a lot of light right now. And so, having never started an entrepreneurship ever from scratch, I've always had many ideas, but I've just been really committed to my legal work all these years and still practicing now. I decided back in August that I was just going to take action. I said, you know what? I'm just going to start, because if I don't start, the days are going to turn into weeks and years. So I did. And I started putting my writings out there. I started doing seminars. I do weekly, almost like group coaching every week. I have people from around the world, from Australia, from Europe, from Central America, from Canada, everywhere, coming live. And it's really an amazing space because women can come together at all ages. I mean, I've got women that are in their 20s to women in their 70s, and they come back every week, some of them, and tell me how much they've learned each week, which is really like my purpose that I wanted to get out there, to inspire women that they really can recreate themselves at any stage, at any age, for any reason.
Now, what method are you using to deliver this? You're using webinars or Facebook Live or what?
I have a few methods. So basically right now I'm on Instagram and I have a Facebook page, and my webinars are all on Zoom. So you have to sign up and I give the link, right? So every week is a different Zoom. I also have private clients one-on-one as well. I actually am coaching men as well, which is very interesting because this started off as empowering women, but it seems to resonate with men as well. So that's been very interesting and helpful. And my, what I'm planning to do for 2021 is my monthly memberships, which is going to be sort of a collaboration of a Facebook group and weekly and monthly webinars and seminars. And I have a whole itinerary of topics that I have, which is also going to be incorporated from my book that I'm finalizing with all my concepts, and then bringing those forward and doing book clubs as well.
All right, now, without mentioning any names, is there any of your clients that just kind of stick out that made big transformations because of your work?
Yes, a lot of them have. Most of my clients are women who have really struggled. They're usually very motivated, high achievers who've checked off all the boxes, but feel like there's like something missing from their lives. And it's usually something that they haven't given themselves permission to explore, or they feel that they're limited either by societal pressure, family pressures, religion. It's this, we're supposed to fit into this perfect mold, but there's something more for us. And we kind of peek out of our cage to look at it, but we would rather retreat into the comfortableness of our chaos because we don't know what's out there. And then a lot of women also feel very selfish because they feel that they've got so much in their lives that they're so grateful for. How could they feel like they want more? But really, it's about empowering women to explore what's more. So yeah, there have been women that have given themselves more time, given themselves permission to pursue that passion, to go after that project that may turn into a job for them that they've always wanted to do, given themselves permission to even reevaluate a relationship they have with a family member, a partner, and mostly reevaluate the relationship that they have with themselves so that they really treat themselves better and kinder. And especially to a lot of moms who really don't make themselves a priority.
I was going to mention that I recall that through a period, a lot of executive women, powerful women still had this guilt side that they, because they had kids and they were fighting with the career balancing being a mom. That's got to be tough. Now you're in that situation, although again, you got a piece of cake. Patricia told me you got like the best baby on earth. You can take him to a concert and he's up, putting his lighter up in the air. I don't know.
She's pretty awesome, and she loves Patricia and Deetra. She's a great,
How old
great
is
little
this
girl.
child?
She's going to be 3 next month.
Okay.
Yes,
never cries, never does anything wrong.
Mostly. She's very good, but I do have 2 boys from my first marriage, and my oldest is 22 and my second's turning 20 tomorrow. So it was always that juggle of, the juggle is real. Like, how do you be a working mother and still be there for your children? And, it's been a very hard thing to do my whole life because I call myself a recovering perfectionist because I wanted to do everything and it was always at my own expense. So it's that learning how to, I don't think you can balance in life. I think something's always going to fall. And I give a whole webinar on that. I think it's learning how to have that internal balance so you can handle whatever it is that life throws at you. And you just need to prioritize what comes your way. Now, with starting these new businesses, having a toddler at home, having my son home from college right now who's working and still practicing as a lawyer and trying to make time for everything, a big thing for me with this new business was prioritizing myself and making sure I had time every single day to focus on doing something to forward my business every single day, doing lives, doing videos, doing webinars, posting my blogs, and making sure I had time for myself for self-care as well. Because if I'm advocating self-care for women, I've got to be practicing that as well. So that's been a very big life changer as well. And I think that it's also helped a lot of other people.
Yeah, but see, you don't know this about me, but I helped start a law firm one time. And so while you're doing all this stuff, you could be billing hours at the same time. I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
My particular field of law is personal injury.
So you're
contingency. It's that one field that, yes. And it's very interesting because, as a we do only plaintiff side. So I've been kind of like a therapist to my clients for 20 years. I'm very connected to my clients. I give them my cell phone number. Tell them to call me anytime. And they have it because they're dealing with, a lot of emotional distress, death, horrible injuries. And we do sexual abuse cases as well, which being the only female attorney in my firm, I'm the one that usually handles it. And so it's dealing with a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings. So I feel like I've had many years of practice doing that as well.
All right. But you would have to turn down the case if I went to Patricia's house and slipped and fell and wanted to sue her, right?
We'd have a conversation. We'd figure it out.
All right. So tell us about this songwriting. You don't run into somebody that does that every day.
It's an interesting one because that's kind of how my husband now, who I met Patricia through, that's kind of how we met in a way, is through songwriting. It happened back in 2007. I've written poems and stories my whole life. And one day a song just came to me and I just started writing songs. They were flying out of me, music and lyrics, but I don't compose. I don't, I haven't played the piano in like 20 years. So I needed people to help me put it together, collaborate. Hence my husband, Russ, we actually have a song out on Spotify and I think Apple. Anyway, for a song that was pitched to the movie Fame too. That was like very close. And they kept asking me to redo it. It was very close. They never ended up using it. one of those things, but it turned into a great song. And I have like a bunch of songs I did, mostly, on my phone, and my mother loves to listen to them all the time, but I never really did anything with them. Enter my book, which all the songs are now going to be, my dream is to write a musical. I dance and I take dance classes and I love music. So my book, my novel book, my fiction book that I'm writing, not the other one, is going to be hopefully one day turned into a musical. So all these songs are going to be incorporated in there.
Wow. Yeah. So I've written some songs, but they're all parodies. And I'm not sure about parody law, so I never released them. But I'm going to try one on you right now.
It seems to do Weird Al Yankovic really well. Yeah. The funny thing is I started writing lyrics because I could never remember the words to any song. So I would make them up and I'd rhyme on the spot. And so I sometimes can't remember the words to my own songs. It's like a weird thing, but yeah. So
I did one on, because I teach computer stuff and internet stuff, and everybody forgets to do backups. So I did one to the tune Yesterday. So let me try it for you.
I love that. I want to hear it.
Yesterday, all those backups seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. And then it goes on, and then it ends up, I'm screwed. So,
I think you got a hit on your hands.
Yeah, I know.
You should release it.
Yeah. So let's take you back a little bit. I looked at your Instagram a little bit, and you're besides a lyricist, you make up a lot of good quotes that I think will be around for a long time. Let's see, one of my favorites is, let's see, when you detox the drama, you release the trauma.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
And then go on a drama diet.
Yes.
Lose the weight of the boulders that you've been carrying on your shoulders. That's another good one.
Thank you.
Are they going to be songs too? Are they going to be in songs too?
My very first, it's very funny you said that, Tom, is my very first song that I ever wrote a lyric. The words were, I walk around with the weight of the world on my shoulders. Literally, that's where all my songs came from.
Wow.
So yes, I was that person that felt every person's pain. And anyway, it turned into a whole song, and good thing it did, because now I have a whole song and a list of like things that come out of me. But usually what I write on Instagram, and I'm not saying this to be boastful, I write in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I write it. I get an idea and I write it. Yeah.
Patricia told me that you were too smart for this show.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Your parody is pretty witty.
No. So let's take you back. So were you, as a child, were you entrepreneurial at all, or did you just come up the standard route, go to college, get a law degree?
I was so like shy as a child. I was so like, I was one of those.
You got over it, I think, right?
I got over it, but I was one of those that like, I didn't even like to showcase. Like I tried to dumb myself down. Like I hated standing out. Like even if I was like called on in class and I knew the answer, I hated being in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. It just really made me feel uncomfortable, but I always had a lot of friends, thank goodness. And I always had a lot of fun. But no, I wasn't entrepreneurial. I went to school. I graduated college at 21. I was a psychology major and a creative writing.
Oh, I was too, minor. Actually. Yeah, I was a psychology.
Yeah, cool.
I was in favor of the electric shock treatment, but then I didn't go very far with that.
And how did that work out for you?
It didn't work. I had to switch careers pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Never went that route. But I sat there and I took, the GREs in college, and I was only 20 at the time when I took him in my senior year. I was very young for my grade. And I wanted to take a year off, and my mother called my mother. She said, go for it. I called my father. They were already divorced at the time. And he's like, no, why don't you apply to law school? Because he's a lawyer. I'm like, okay. Without even thinking, I was like, okay. I took the LSATs, didn't even study for them, applied for law school after I graduated for like that August. So like I graduated in May, and then I started law school in August. I just did it. I was 21.
You got to be some kind of genius, because I was valedictorian in my school. I looked at the LSAT I couldn't answer anything on. I said, forget it. I got to better be in business because I'm not smart enough to be a lawyer.
I'm sure you would have done great.
Yeah, if they just gave me the license, I mean, I would have been fine. But passing that test, I don't know. So you took the LSAT. Then where'd you go to law school?
I came back here in California. I went to Southwestern. Yeah.
Okay. And then when did you start getting this idea that you were going to help women?
I've always written inspirational things since I was in grade school. I've always written inspirational quotes. I've always done that kind of stuff. When did I want to start helping women? 2017.
Just recently.
2017.
Oh, that's when you made the decision. You just have to better do it, or
it just became like this tug in my soul that just like was screaming to come out of me. It was in there for years, but it just was really burning to come out of me. And I started to put together like day events for women, and I went around to all the hotels here to put together I had all my people in place to try out a Women's Day retreat to see for like the soul and the mind, body, and soul. Then I found out I was pregnant, and everything kind of stopped. Not stopped in a good way because she's like the light of our lives, right. But like it was like, okay, we'll put that on hold for now. And
actually, you probably have. Well, I don't know. You were a mother twice before that. I was going to say it probably gives you an insight, but I don't know. A kid 20 years ago and a kid today, it's a different world.
Oh my gosh, she knows how to navigate the iPad better than I do.
Yeah, she probably came out of the womb swiping the screen.
It's really incredible. Like I think about it, when I had my boys, they didn't even have the iPhone. So I don't even have those iPhone, no Instagram to post their pictures, which they're so thankful for, but it's a different world. And I think also having two boys who are very boys, and then having a daughter and really wanting to, I've always taught my boys to be strong and on their feet, and they've always seen their mother working and being there for them. I was always like very involved in their school and PTA and their sports and everything. But I think having a daughter was also a big catalyst to like, let's really, raise women in this world as well, so that they know what they can and can't do. And if I can bring up just a little bit in the legal career, it's very interesting because I have, as you can hear, I have sort of a soft voice, right? And so a lot of times in the beginning of my legal career as a litigator in court, I'd always hear from men, oh, you have such a soft voice, or you're so soft spoken. And some women would come in very aggressive and very kind of like masculine, but their arguments would be really bad. So like, I learned, not that I'd win every argument, but it's not what you say, it's how you say it, but you don't have to come across, like women don't have to come across as like so rough to get their point across. And that was like also a big thing because, it was just a very interesting.
I think sometimes it's better you sneak up on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they look, oh, well, look, she's weak. And then you just come in and knock them off with the arguments. Yeah. So what do you see for the future, this training for women? Where's it going to go?
I have a whole movement. I don't even know if I dare talk about it because my visions are just spewing out of me. So originally my thought was 3 years ago, I wanted to have a brick and mortar place of a, like women go on these women's retreats, right? But they come back and then they go back to real life. So why can't they have a place where they're kind of like held accountable in these like wonderful spiritual safe spaces all year round? So that was the premise. I had all like the different ideas of speakers and this and that.
I mean, multi-locations around the country or just locally?
Actually, I was going to start here. I had researched it at the time. There really wasn't anything that was like my vision. So actually, in my fiction book, I put my entire vision for it in the book. So I said, okay, if I can't bring it to life, I'll write about it, right? So that whole area is in my book. And then when the pandemic hit, I said, well, why can't we have a virtual space for that as well? My vision is to have eventually these monthly memberships where women can come on and there's, I'll do webinars. I have lists and lists of topics. Like I have enough topics to do like 365 days a year. So I have so much content, and to empower women, to inspire women, to uplift women, and to bring other women on to collaborate, to bring on, other types of people, like can have like meditation people or samples. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm not one of those people that does everything all. I just want to help women and also do group coaching. So if people want to have group coaching or one-on-one coaching, I love group coaching because I think that people can learn from each other. And I think that especially on a place like Zoom, where people are from all over the world that I've been having on my webinars, and people can bring up topics, you really can learn from different cultures and from the aspects of different people. And so if you have a question, what's personal is universal, I think a lot of people can grow from that. And so I have a lot of vision. So
I'm thinking settle out a couple big cases, and then you can buy up commercial real estate for nothing right now, all around the place. You could
really
buy
amazing.
Trump Tower probably if you felt like it.
Oh God.
So you could grab up all this real estate, everything.
Yeah.
Now, I was just thinking the pejorative thing about personal injury attorneys are ambulance chasers, right? So when I helped start this law firm, it's a construction firm. And so I called my buddy, I called him a backhoe chaser because he was waiting for all the construction problems to happen. So
that's so crazy. Yeah. We try to take bigger end cases, so we're not like the typical right. So it's interesting. We have in our firm a niche, and I'm not plugging the firm now or anything, but we have a niche in amusement rides. So we've actually had a lot of lawsuits against every major amusement park around the country.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
For brain bleeds and stuff. Yeah. It's been crazy.
Oh, wow. Plug the law firm. Great. Yeah. I mean, people, if you really did a good job promoting the law firm, people would try to get hurt just to come see. In fact, they do that. Did you ever? I'm sure you're familiar with squat and swoop, or swoop and squat. You know that term?
No.
That's where a bunch of people get in a car, swoop in front of a trailer truck.
Oh, and
then squat, and then boom, and then they get settled. How do I know all this stuff? I want to know.
We call that illegal, but yeah.
Well, I call it stupid. I mean, you want to jump in front of a 18-wheeler. Yeah, I don't know how long you can last in that career, So we got to take a brief sponsor break. When we come back, we're going to ask you how you're juggling still being an attorney and helping women and all this stuff. So we'll be back to you in a second. So folks, about 20 years ago, I kind of turned the internet marketing guru world on its head, and the people at my level were charging 50 or 100 grand up front to help people. And I thought, I know a lot of these people. If you gave them 50 grand up front, they'd be hiding out in Mexico. They'd never help you. So I said, I'm going to fix this. So I kind of made them all mad. I charged an entry fee, and then I charge a percentage of your profits that's capped. And so you're not stuck with me forever, but for me to get my 50,000, you have to make 200,000. Well, people really like this, and 1,700 plus students later and 20 years later, it's still going strong. And then I call it the most unique, the longest running, and the most successful internet mentor program ever. And I triple dog dare people to match feature for feature all my stuff, because then nobody would take me up on it, because they'd be embarrassed with all the unique things we give you. We give you an immersion weekend here at the Retreat Center in Virginia Beach, where you actually live in this big estate with me. We have a TV studio next door where we shoot videos for you, marketing videos, some of which go for $700 to $1,500 a piece on the open market. We've never had anybody get out of here without less than 10, and one couple did 53 of them. We edit them, put the graphics on, and give them all these marketing videos. Plus, unlike our esteemed guest, Lisa, we hate group coaching, but it's a different thing. See, because in my field, it's got a little bit of technical to it. If I'm talking to the advanced people, the beginners are totally lost. And if I'm talking to the beginners, the advanced people are bored. So it's a little bit different situation. I wholly agree with her on the type of thing she teaches, but it's one-on-one, and nobody at my level will even talk to you, let alone teach you anything. And you have we'll take over your computer, show you where to click. I mean, just make rapid progress. And the last thing is that if you are in my mentor program, you get a scholarship to my school. And you can either use it yourself for extra training or gift it to someone. And we had one guy join the mentor program, spent $80,000 on his daughter's crap education, and she's working some crappy job. And so he gifted this to her. And after 1 month, she was making $1,000 a month as a side hustle. 3 months later, she was making, what'd she tell me, $3,000 a month. 4 months into school, she was making $6,000 a month as a side hustle. Just with the small businesses just throw money at you to take stuff off their hands because they're all clueless about social media and how to do all this stuff. So anyway, check it out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. There's no machine gun nest, no high pressure. If you can't see the value of this, I probably can't help you. So check it out, and we'll be glad to talk to you. All right, let's get back to the main event. Lisa Stuart is here. She is a magnanimous woman that does it all. I mean, she's like the poster child for high achieving lady, but a soft-spoken one that'll sneak up on you in court. So Lisa, how do you juggle this stuff with your big aspirations and helping women and doing webinars, and you still got court cases going at the same time? And a baby and a 3-year-old.
I do.
How do you handle it? How do you do it? What's a typical day look like for you?
Well, it's interesting you say that. Just to backtrack, I used to be the type of person that was busy all day long and wore being busy as a badge of honor. But I realized that busy is not the same thing as being productive. So it took me many, many years to realize what I really needed to do every day and what I really could delegate or could wait for another day. And so my method that really helps me, because the juggle is real, right? So my method that helps me is every single day I put into my calendar 3 things that I really need to do, prioritize, and 3 things that I really want to do. And I have some non-negotiables, and I have
feed the baby.
Well, I'm not even including feed the baby, get dinner, go to the market. I'm not even including all of that other,
all right, now,
other stuff in life.
Do you do this at night so that you're ready the next day, or do you do it the first thing in the morning?
Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and my mind just goes and I have to write it down. So I'm not a morning person, unfortunately, but Russ, my husband and I, we don't sleep all night because of our daughter is kind of maybe in our bed. So, and so we're up a lot, and I'm not a great sleeper anyway. So, I do the best I can, but usually the night before I've learned to do this. I committed myself to post every single day on Instagram. And so, like I said, I get a download from the universe. I figure out what I want to write. I get an inspiration and I put it down. It takes me 5, maybe 10 minutes to do. And I usually do it the night before, the next day, sometimes the morning of. But I also put in my phone every day. I even put it in to work out, even though I'm a big workout advocate. I put it in my phone so I don't forget to meditate. And even if it's 10, 15 minutes a day, and I talk about this a lot in my self-care, today is Monday, and I have this thing every Monday called mini moments. You can always take a mini moment for yourself, even if you break it up throughout the day in 10, 15-minute increments. There's always time for that quick walk around the block to just clear your head, or 10 minutes of meditation. I don't believe in more than that. And, exercise. So I always structure time in. Obviously, I have legal work to do. So, and I usually get very focused. I get very laser focused. I'm very mindful of whatever project I'm in. I used to love, oh my God, I used to be the biggest multitasker and say, wow, look at all these things I could do. It's like juggling balls. One's going to fall, or 10, right? I don't juggle. So I've learned to slow down, because going fast is usually reckless. So slow down and you actually get more done. So being mindful and being present in the moment is huge, because I used to be everything that I had to do would go through my mind as I'm doing something. I mean, there were days when I first started writing songs and I had submitted them to different talent agencies at the time who were music supervisors for movies and stuff. And I'd be on my computer and I'd have one screen on a legal brief and one screen on my song. And I'd flip back and forth from my right to my left. No joke. I just would flip.
No, I'm just picturing you in court, just messing up and starting to sing.
Oh gosh. And I don't sing, so that would not be a pretty sight.
I don't know. You see it in the movies all the time.
Yeah, I should do one speech in film form, but I've never tried that route. So yeah.
There's no law against it, I don't think.
There is no, and they made some pretty good movies and shows about singing lawyers, right? Maybe I should incorporate that into a musical. But yeah, it's a good idea. So no, I really try to just time slot everything and forgive myself for not doing something and lose the guilt. So that's a big thing. And just knowing if I have to get this done, I don't have to I used to push myself to get everything done and then collapse at the end of the night. And I don't now.
Yeah, and you said something about slowing down. So in martial arts, we have a saying that slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, because I mean, people try to learn this stuff and they go crazy and nothing is being done right, and it's actually slower when your muscles are tight. So you start slow, and that makes you smooth, and the smoother you are, the faster you are. So
that is
yeah,
so
I didn't make that
smart.
up. That's just an old saying.
I'll quote you on that. I'll give you the credit, but I like that. And as I'm talking about going slow, my grandmother, I love her so much. She's 100 years young, and she tells me all the time, because she listens to my webinars, slow down, you speak too fast. I'm realizing now she might listen to this and say, Lisa, I talk fast.
Well, I can edit this and slow it down to 50% if you want. I'll just slow yours down. Yeah.
There's that option on the podcast button.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I don't know if it has like minus on it. I don't know.
It does. It has both.
Yeah. So how do you stay motivated with all this stuff going on? How do you stay motivated? Is it intrinsic with you or what?
I am obsessed with this. I would do this 24/7. Like my husband, he's built many businesses. He's built one this year and one a couple years ago. And I've watched him sit at his computer for like 15 hours a day. And I'm like, how do you sit there for so long? And now I get it. I would literally do this 24/7. Like I'm like, it consumes me. He has to actually tell me to relax, watch TV, like do something else. Cause I love this. It really just, it's like my calling. I love it.
It's the same with me. I'm a fanatic, and it's in some cases, it's good to have a fanatic on your team, because I take consultations on evenings, weekends, holidays. I threw a teleclass one time on Thanksgiving. I didn't notice it was Thanksgiving. Made $3,800. I'm saying, yes, makes your turkey go down easier.
That's amazing.
And when people, you talked about balance earlier, and that I heard you say you can't really be balanced, and I agree wholeheartly. I give the example of a Olympic athlete. Do you think they're balanced? Couldn't possibly be balanced if to reach those highest levels. So if somebody says, "Oh, Tom, you worked hard, you're not balanced," I call it my winning pace. Just because you can't do it, and when some people tell you can't do something, that means they can't do it. It doesn't mean a thing about you. Yeah,
exactly. It's all about their perspective.
Yeah. So you don't need any extra motivation. You need to demotivate it sometimes.
No demotivation. And it's so true because, it was, somebody gave me a book years ago called How Does She Do It All? Because I was working, raising 2 kids, involved in every, so many things with my kids' extracurricular, charitable events. I was on the board of my kids' school. Like, how do you do it all? And I think we can have it all. I don't think we can do it all, at least at the same time. Like I said, something always has to give. And I think that I had so much mom guilt for so long if I was working too hard on something, but there's always whatever needs your attention the most in the moment, that's what you give it to. And everything else is going to be okay. I can tell you that, it will all work out. So yeah.
All right. So how do people get a hold of you? How do they get into your programs and webinars and all that stuff?
Yes, there is a link in my Instagram. My Instagram is...
Tell them what it is, and we'll also be in the show notes so they can just click on it.
Perfect. It's Lisa Stuart Official.
Spell Stuart, because I messed it up a couple times.
It's LISASTUART Official, OFFICIAL. And I also have the Facebook page, and they can link in there.
Is that the same thing for the Facebook page?
Lisa Stuart Official. Yes,
okay.
Those are my pages. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So I'm Tom Unofficial.
Well, nice to meet you, Tom Unofficial. Yes.
Tell everybody how you got to be a public figure on Instagram. Everybody wants to get that, but did you pull some legal strings or threaten them with a lawsuit or what?
No, I think it just being out there and just posting all the time and just putting yourself out there. I think
I don't think that does it. You're hiding something from me here. Yeah, you're that sneaky lawyer now. You don't become a public figure with just accidentally.
I don't know. I mean, my husband might have helped me,
Somebody's
yes.
I have an anti-fraud show in development in Hollywood called Scam Brigade. You can see the trailer at scambrigade.com. I can't, there's no way you got to be a public figure without some help somehow. All right.
Well, if I can get my message out there and help as many people as possible,
it's okay with me. I don't mind. You lawyers,
yes,
right?
We'll share later.
Yeah.
We'll get you there, Tom. Don't worry.
All right. So it's hard to wish you success because that means somebody got killed in a motor vehicle accident or something.
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
Yeah. What were the things you said you were concentrating on in the legal field?
Personal injury.
Yeah, but what?
Our focus. We do a lot of like brain injuries at amusement rides.
Amusement
wrongful death, product liability, sexual abuse.
You're banned from Disney, probably.
Major. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we are. That they're closed. They're closed right now, but somehow I'll sneak back in when they reopen.
Speaking of closed, did you have to close your law offices and work from home at all?
We've been working remotely since March, and
it's
been great. I've only gone in twice, actually, because somehow we've made it work. All of my court hearings have been on Zoom. All of my depositions, my mediations, it's actually so much better and easier. And I think this is going to be the way of the future. The judges are saying they don't really see it going back anytime soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
it saves us the commute. It's nice.
It's probably a little different, swaying a jury, right? Right. Can you actually have a jury trial on Zoom?
So all the cases got continued, and what the judges are saying now is, they always try to get you to settle the case before, which is always the preferred mode to go to mediation. But if you can't, the judges were actually saying that they're asking the jurors can come in, but they want the attorneys and all the witnesses to be on video. So that'll be very interesting if that happens that way. Or the judges are asking for just bench trials and no juries and just have the judges decide. So it's a different world that we're all navigating. But
because I read a book by some body language expert. And she was like a top jury selection person, and all the body language and stuff that goes on in the courtroom. And, you can't see somebody smirk if they're on camera from Zoom, and you say something and they smirk. Well, that means something, right?
It's fascinating. Yeah. One of my favorite parts after a jury trial is to poll the jury and ask them their opinion. It's really amazing to get their perspective because you can't talk to them throughout the trial, obviously, but I love asking them after what they thought. It's fascinating. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It's been quite a good half hour here, and a very interesting person. I don't like most people from California, but I'll get hate mail over that for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tom, for having me. Maybe I'll write you a parody about the show.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good. All right. Well, appreciate it so much. And everybody check out Lisa Stuart, Stuart, official on Instagram and Facebook. Check it out. And I know you got a website, but I went there and I think that's just to register for stuff, or what?
It's under construction. I'm actually in the middle of working on it, but because it wasn't done, my husband, who knows how to write code, he had it so that it goes straight to my, you can sign up there to get my emails, but then it goes straight to my Facebook while it's still a work in progress. But working on it.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for coming on. Hey, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Check all Lisa's stuff out. The supermodel, mom, songwriter, lawyer, author, friend of Fine Number 9. And we'll catch you all in the next episode. See you later.